Hey fellas, in this video we're going to go over something that I just went over on a call, and I'll pull a couple things up and give you some details. But to encapsulate it, basically what it is the correct way to view the recovery process. I think a lot of guys, they don't have a correct viewpoint of what they're actually doing, and because of that, they're never going to be able to break free. So for example, most people think the recovery process is just something they ought to do. It's good to do because if I act out, it leads to pain. It's not good, right? I should stay clean because then I won't face this pain. And also, I mean, yeah, when I stay clean for a period of time, there's some benefits. Like I feel better, I feel more confident, but the biggest benefit is that I just don't feel that pain. That's how most people view it. It's, I ought to do this, but that's not the correct viewpoint. And they also might take it to a different extreme. And this is what happens within the NoFap community, where people believe that they associate everything with a number. If I'm on day 10, 30, 90, then I can feel good about myself, right? And that's the main thing that drives them to continue. If I'm at day 30, I'm allowed to love myself and respect myself. If I relapse once and go back to day 0, then I'm not allowed to love myself or respect myself, and I view myself in a completely different light. And the fuel that they're going based off of is just trying to prove something to themselves. I need to hit this benchmark, then this benchmark, and this benchmark, all in the name of allowing themselves to feel good about themselves or their situation. But that's untenable. And they have this conditional self-image, and it's not going to allow them to see long-term results. So that is kind of the more incorrect way to view the recovery process. And if you want to understand the ideal way to look at it, you have to look at it in something like this. And when people have this kind of corrupted viewpoint of recovery, they never dissociate themselves with the acting out behavior. For example, if they get an urge, they think the urge is inherently sexual, and they think it's their own desire, right? And that's a problem, because if you think that your urge is inherently sexual and your urge is your own desire, then if you get an urge, you're just going to go and act on it, right? If you ought to stay clean, yeah, that's all good. You should stay clean to feel better about yourself or avoid the pain or seek a little bit of benefits. But if you're getting these urges and they're sexual and they're your desires, it's only a matter of time until you give into it, right? And that's the problem that most men see, is that they never dissociate from these urges or from the acting out behavior. And because they don't dissociate, those urges are proof of who they really are. If they get an urge to go and do something that is bad, that's kind of twisted or outside their comfort zone, they say to themselves, man, why am I thinking this? My heart is so twisted and dark and evil. Why do I want this? Right? And they associate themselves with it. And that's a slippery slope, right? Not only is that going to lead to a very negative self-image, but you're always going to associate with the acting out. So in this video, I want to show you 2 different ways of thinking about the urges that you get and about the recovery process that will completely transform everything. And it's going to allow you to have long-term freedom. So we'll start with the urges, right? The premise that I made earlier in the video is that urges are inherently sexual and urges are my own desires. Let's shoot this down first. We'll go from the second one. With the urges being my own desires. That is not true. There's a battle that you're facing right now. There's a battle for your strength. And those urges that you're getting is from the flesh. It's from this. It's from the animalistic side of you. And we all have it, right? We all have that side of ourselves, just to reproduce and pass on our seed from generation to generation. And that is something that we have, but that's not all of who we are. We're the only animal in the entire world that has a conscience, that has a spirit, right? And the proof for that is in the pudding. We're able to create civilization. We have our own thoughts and ideas that are completely separate and detached from pure survival. That is proof of our own conscience and our own spirit. And the thing is, the urges that you get are not who you are. It's not the spirit. It's not your intuition, or truly you, not your identity. It comes from the flesh. And what you need to do is make a distinction between these two. Because again, if you associate with the urge and that being your desire, you're never going to get free. You're never going to break free. It's not possible. So you have to get to a point where you say, nope, these desires are of my flesh. And this is within my Christian theology. This is the number one lie that the enemy wants to give you. The devil wants to give you, is that you are your flesh. You are your urges. Those desires are purely yours, and you're messed up for having them. Your heart is evil and bad and corrupted. That's the lie that they want you to believe, because it can keep you stuck if you believe it. So what I want you instead to believe is that that's not who you are. It's your flesh. And once you can kind of get into that standpoint, if you do act out, it's not anything against you. It's just you lost the battle against your flesh, right? And that's a lot better than feeling like it's truly who you are. So that's one mindset flip that you need to have. It's so freeing. It's awesome because you don't have to be mad at yourself or tear yourself down for having these desires, because it's truly not you, right? Now, the other viewpoint of the urge is that it's inherently sexual in nature. And it can be. Probably like 1 to 5% of the urges you actually get are inherently sexual. The rest are either to escape pain or just a way to release energy. So what the urge actually is just energy, right? So I'll give a little bit of science and I'll go into this point. Our bodies create our seed and it matures anywhere between 70 to 90 days, right? We are not designed to act out and release on a frequent day-to-day basis, or even week-to-week, or even month-to-month basis, believe it or not. But if you tamper with the system, it will go into overdrive, and it will pull a bunch of resources that your body needs, zinc, selenium, pretty much everything, to create life. And that has a lot of energy, and it's very taxing on your body to do, but it will do it if you tamper with the system. That within itself should kind of change your kind of viewpoint of all these urges. Now, we're not designed to be doing this on a day-to-day basis, not on earth at all, to be doing that frequently. Now, the other way that I can prove to you that this is just energy at the end of the day is by what happens through sexual transmutation. You probably heard about this in recovery or NoFap, but they do not explain it well at all. Sexual transmutation is putting the energy that you have and putting it into a different channel. And interestingly, when you stay clean for a couple of days, 10 days, a month, right, you need to transition that energy into something else. Most people, because they're only trying to prove a certain number of days to themselves, try to just resist and resist and resist and resist and fight and fight and fight, and they never give it an outlet. And that's a shame, because they're never going to stay clean for the long run. And they probably won't even get even close against that streak that they once did. But naturally what happens is that your body starts to put that energy into something else if you let it. And even, I'll be a little bit personal, too personal, but I remember back when I was doing this, way early on, I remember learning and then kind of getting turned on at the same time. But what was weirdly happening was that my body was transitioning that energy into something different. And what ended up happening after that happened was I would get an urge, but it wasn't sexual. It was the urge to go and do and work or put it into a creative outlet. And it happened naturally. And the reason why I know it's the same urge, the same desire, was because before you get a urge to go and act out, I want you to see how you feel when you've been staying clean for a couple of days. You feel on edge. You feel just pent up and just like, I just want to do something. That's how you feel, right? And an outlet for that is through lust, if you let it. But that's not how it is always. It's not like you're just lustful all day, every day. You have that masculine desire to do. That's the energy. And that started to get put into those creative outlets. And instead, I would just have this like upliftive energy of just, I want to work, I want to create. And then I'll just go and do that. And that was the fuel that is allowing me to live. So instead of using my own willpower and discipline and having my own routine, that is the natural life force. That's what they call it. That it's what gives you life if you transmute it into other things. So don't view your urges as sexual. They're not. It's energy. And it's your job to manifest that into different outlets. But you need to do it. A lot of people, they think exercise is enough. Like, no, it's not enough. It's more than exercise. You need to have creative outlets. You need to follow your passions and what gets you excited and what gives you life. And there's probably resistance to do these things. There's belief sets that need to change for you to actually transmute this energy correctly. Because again, the enemy doesn't want you to live life abundantly. He doesn't want you to succeed or even be close to God at all. And he wants to destroy you through this. But you're going to have resistance to do it. But it's so worth it. Because it gives you life. You feel purposeful. You feel driven. And this is how you discover God. This is how you discover your calling. Is through this. It's through getting the life force energy. Reclaiming it. Reclaiming your strength. And then being able to just go and live. It's a beautiful thing, right? And you're walking in a different way when you allow this to really take over your life and be the energy, right? That really drives you. Now, the final thing that I wanted to bring up is how you review the recovery process. The recovery process is a battle to fight for your strength. It's not something you ought to do. It's not something that you should do because it's going to be better than, if you act out every single day. You are fighting for your strength to be filled up with energy and vitality and strength and confidence and just this raw power just to go and work and achieve in life. To get to that point, you have to reclaim your strength, which is doing everything we just talked about earlier. That's what you're doing. You're reclaiming your strength. You're protecting it and not just giving it away. That's the battle you're fighting. It's not a recovery process. Even, let me take this down. I don't even want that on the screen. It's not a recovery process at all. It's not. It's not one bit. It is a battle to fight for your strength. And as men, we need a battle. We need a battle to fight. If you're not fighting a battle on a day-to-day basis, you're not living, right? You don't have a strong sense of purpose. You're probably going to be questioning why you're put on this earth or what life is about, right? You need a battle to fight. And this is your battle right here, right now, to reclaim your strength and live the life that you've always knew you're able to achieve. So I hope this video helped you guys. I hope that you really start to apply some of these things into your own life and make these mindset shifts, that your urges are not yours, it's your flesh, that urges aren't inherently sexual, it's just energy, and that you're not going through the recovery process because you ought to, right? You're trying to live within your strength and protect it. That's the battle you're trying to fight. So I hope this helps you, because if you can make these mindset flips, it might seem insignificant, but truly if you view things in this way, you're going to disassociate from the acting out behavior and no longer see it as what you do, which will give you freedom. And also the recovery process isn't a battle. It isn't just something you have to use willpower on, right? It's something that gives you life and meaning and energy. And this is a huge thing. It's helped me so much. And this is truly the thing. Once you start to make progress and to watch the other content and apply those things, this is what makes people take off. So apply it. And if you need any help, you know where to go. Just go down in the comments below. I'll have a free consultation with you. I'll go over your situation, go in depth on it, give you feedback throughout the call, give you a little presentation about what I do if I was in your shoes, and if I believe that I can actually help you in terms of coaching, then we'll go over that. I'll show you how it works, but that's only if I really believe that I can help you. But either way, you're going to be leaving the call with resources or a bunch of new, tips and perspective from the feedback that I've given you. But at the very least, you'll be walking away from that call with newfound clarity and perspective, and maybe a couple exercises that I've sent you. And at the very best, you're actually getting my help and, going through this process and being able to see freedom. So hope this is helpful. I'll see you guys in the next one.